I'm ready for my goal too, man.
Creator, please just give us the words that everybody needs to hear today, and just fill their hearts and open their minds to pie and the whole mission of this. I just feel it today, and this is divine intervention. Just coming here and meeting everybody, and just bless us. We say that. Aho. Amen.
Amen.
Aho.
Aho.
Welcome back to the bakery. Oh my, this is exciting. Episode 8 for the Universal Year 8. We are also coming in hot with a special guest. It's your boy, B. Willis.
Priscilla Z, and it is an honor to sit next to.
This is Jeri Moomaw of the Shoshone tribe. Now, some very interesting things about Jeri. First of all, she is a champion for survivors, being a survivor herself, and also founder of a nonprofit organization, Innovations HTC, which is actually in partnership with Pursue It If You Want It, which I am the executive director and founder of. This is one of my mentors, one of my family members, one of my friends, an honored family member for real. And so this is a very exciting moment, an exciting episode. We have a lot in store for you guys today. And just to give you a little bit of background, pulling from some of Jeri's. Here we go. Jeri is a Shoshone Cree, and she is an expert on Native issues and human trafficking in Indian country. As someone who has been personally impacted by this kind of violence, she also knows firsthand the individual and collective toll it can take. She has made it her mission to bring awareness, education, and tools to equip communities and frontline professionals to be able to recognize and respond to trafficking and violence. Her personal and professional mission is to empower survivors to engage in anti-trafficking work in a movement and culture-changing manner.
Oh man, what an honor to sit next to you today. I appreciate you.
Thank you. It's humbling every time somebody reads part of my bio. It's just kind of like it just is. Has it been work, or it's just been a life's mission, and things have just aligned. And so thank you for having me here today.
Absolutely. I believe that everybody is on purpose. And sometimes our stories are kind of intense, but the value that they hold for ourselves and the exponential value that you give to others is really why you're here. So thank you for sharing. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Before we get into some of this awesome stuff Jeri has to bring to the table, to the bakery, if you will, we're going to jump right into Keep Effing Going, Day 7 by Joshua Smith and Jordan Davis. Change is inevitable. Growth is optional.
I like that.
For sure.
Day 7 is dope, right? So the action item is take a moment today to reflect on a recent change or challenge you faced. Think about how you responded to it and whether there were any opportunities for growth or learning. Use this experience as a reminder to embrace change as a chance to learn and evolve rather than resist it.
Yeah.
That's pie for you, pursuing internal evolution.
Absolutely. Something I've been saying lately, which is kind of an interesting affirmation, is you either grow or you go. So right now I'm looking at every opportunity in my life as a chance to do something, to actually internally evolve in a way. And it's amazing because sometimes the things that you think are ready to smack you down, those are the things that are going to build you up. Those are the things you can allow to make you rise above. I think our friend Jeri knows a lot about that.
Yeah, listening to that, it just really reminded me of the story that my grandma always said. She always said that no matter what you go through, you have a lesson to learn from it. and you may not see that lesson immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it might be 5-10 years down the road, but you know, that is, sometimes they're hard lessons.
Yeah.
You know, but sometimes, you know, I know for myself, you know, growing up and in life, I've always been kind of hard-headed. So I often needed, like, you know, a big hit on the head or a crowbar to get me out of situations. And so, you know, that really resonates with me because, yeah, we grow, or honestly, we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
and
It reminds me of I can't remember if my little brother, who also has a podcast, Dad's Who Game, shout out to Hassan and T-Lop.
hey,
But I think he got it tattooed, right? But it's funny because his phrase is live life or die dead.
Mm. Right. Absolutely.
Right?
I feel like that's, you know, Jerry and I were speaking before this episode started, and it's so interesting because, like, my father, he kind of was like setting me up a little bit in his experience. He knew that he would leave Earth, you know, before I was maybe even ready for it. But one thing that he said is that, like, I was going to end up learning a tremendous amount, and I was still going to be here on Earth when he left. And that kind of makes me resonate with this concept of, like, you are progressively learning until you are dead.
yeah,
Learning is life. You know, the human condition. I always say, like, when I stumble or have a problem, I got the case of the humans again. You know, and we get a case of the humans until we're no longer here on this plane. So every single day is an opportunity to grow and progress. And I think that it's a part of actual living in life. It's a beautiful thing. It's a gift.
It's pie.
It's pie.
It's like we all partake in pie, but are you doing it on purpose or are you doing it instinctually?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But Jerry, not only did Jerry bring some medicine and some liquid smudge, but you have a Meditations with Native American Elders, and you have bookmarked today's actual meditation, yeah?
I sure have.
I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and this is based on the 4 seasons, and I don't know if
4 again.
Yes, you know, the 4 seasons, and it goes along with, like, Wilbrighty teaching, and really, honestly, our ancestors and the words of our elders, they need to be cherished. And so this is a book that I read every single day, and so we are going to share today's, and January 7th, and it's winter meditation. When we become hollow bones, there is no limit to what the higher power can do in and through us in spiritual things. Frank Foolscrow, Lakota. If we want to be of maximum use to the Creator, we must ready ourselves to do so. If we are to become a channel for His purposes, we must prepare ourselves to do so. If we have resentments, fear, selflessness, or anger, or selfishness, or anger, we are not hollow bones. We must rid of these things. We must change ourselves and forgive our brothers and sisters. We must keep our insides clean. We cannot use our power in a good way when we have blockage such as hate, judgment, and envy. When we are free of these things, the higher powers can use us beyond our wildest imagination. Then we can really help ourselves, and we can help others. Only when we are hollow bones, we can have an effect on the world.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, that gives me chills.
Yeah.
You didn't prepare us other than saying when you open the book, wow, this really resonates with what we're doing today. So I wasn't ready.
Wow,
But,
right?
But I'm like, that's literally what we are perpetuating. That's pi. Everything is in alignment. This is unscripted, authentic community gift. Me and Priscilla sit here and we learn as we record. We have no scripts. We might have little notes or a topic about what we want to maybe address, but this is all lived experience. And if you're in the peer world, then you know the way we share our stories and our experience is only to provide hope.
Yes.
And uplifting. And you being a director that is nationally recognized as an expert in your field, what tools have you found most useful in navigating and being a survivor yourself and healing along in your journey?
Oh my gosh, that is all right. You might want to sit back and get comfortable. No, honestly, I'll expand a little bit more on that. My organization works with both sex and labor trafficking survivors and victims, and we are blessed to do that. And I am a survivor of sex trafficking myself, and I will be celebrating 24 years of sobriety and being completely out of any aspect of the commercial sex industry on April 11th. And my journey has been interesting. I would love to tell you that there was services when I got away from my trafficker at the age of 19, but there was nothing. He went to jail. I basically got patted on the back and said, go forward. You're free. Have a great life. And I had trauma. He used narcotic pain pills to control us. There was other victims in the house, and thrashed my credit on purpose. Did really set me up for failure, and I didn't have money, anything, and back then, I was 19 at the time. There was no services. There was nobody. There was no such thing as an advocate. I was seen as a criminal. And
wow.
It caused me another decade of exploitation. I never had another trafficker again, but you don't have to have a third-party controller to be exploited within the commercial sex industry. And, I found myself involved in, the strip club industry for another 10 years. And traveled all over the country, thought I was on the top of my game. I can tell you that the trauma that was involved in that was equal to the trauma that when I had a trafficker. Being seen as a commodity has been very traumatic. And my healing journey has been nothing short of a miracle.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment. Let's spray some of this smudge.
Ooh.
Let's get rid of that negativity
Yeah.
before we get into your healing journey.
I love that.
Let's reset.
Love it.
Let's heal a little.
All right.
Right
let's
now.
do it. Okay.
Right?
Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Oh,
I know.
I wish you guys could smell this.
Okay.
It has cedar, white sage, and sweetgrass.
Yeah.
I have sweetgrass, bare root, lavender, and calendula in my bag.
That's perfect.
I made this in prison during a sweat.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you carry it close to your heart.
Yeah, definitely.
beautiful.
Medicines have, I mean, thank you for that reset. You know, and it's funny because I've shared my story, you know, on a national and international level, but I have used my experience to build a team of warriors that I needed when I was 19. Because if there would have been an advocate, if there would have been somebody that cared and was willing to share space and walk alongside me, it would have been completely different. And so my career goal had always been to help people, help survivors, and I'm doing that now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jeri is a survivor's champion.
Absolutely.
So before we get into a little bit more about your specific techniques, we have a segment we do better than yesterday, which was actually a gift from my sister-in-law Tara. I opened this box
Thank you, Tara.
on our first
Yes.
episode so that we read these for the first time when we pick them. You don't have to grab the top one, pick whichever one you
Oh,
want.
I love these.
Yeah.
These
So-
are fun.
Yeah, so what, you go first. If you'd
Okay,
like
cool.
the honor.
Okay. You got your own Bach. Better than yesterday. Listen to 30 minutes of classical music today. Classical music has been shown to lower cortisol levels and de-stress you.
Yeah, when I was a little girl, I had like a magical, I call her like a fairy godmother, but really she was a woman that couldn't bear children. And my mom met her at the Yardbirds, the farmer's market, downtown Olympia. And she had a metaphysical bookstore of all the things. And she had crystals and all of that. And she was the person that taught me about Louise Hay and Power of the Mind. And
I love her.
absolutely. And I
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
she's
It makes
given
sense.
me like some of the best gems ever. And I remember like in my 20s, I was like really struggling and, you know, kind of trying to drop the tea to her. And her response was, well, have you made a dream board? What's your dream board look like right now? And I thought,
Not a
oh
vision
man,
board,
A
a
vision-
dream
a
board.
dream
Dream board, not a vision board.
But
Okay.
what she used to do in the car for me, I remember even I was probably like 3 years old with my first memories of it. But she told me that the music that we had on the radio was what we needed for
Mhm.
our souls. It was like what helped us create and visualize productivity. And she always had it on classical music.
Really?
Always,
Oh,
yeah.
I
So
got-
she would be bopping around in the car, and like you'd be going to your jams. We were listening to Bach. We were listening to.
So
all
check
the
it out.
goods.
I got a funny story about my incarceration this time around. And I've used the phrase, I set myself free years before I got out. And I
Mhm.
mean that for a reason. So
like that.
in the feds, we're allowed these little MP3 players, and they only had certain music.
Okay.
So everybody would go, obviously, spend their
Mhm.
little money and get all their songs and stuff. And then there were guys that didn't have them, or they would break theirs.
Mm.
So a lot of times when some dudes I messed with would be like, hey, man, let me borrow your MP3 player to go work out. They would come back like, man, what the? Because my MP3 player was full of native meditative songs,
Good.
classical music,
Perfect.
and comedy skits.
I love
That's
Okay.
what I used to go to sleep on. So I didn't have all the rap music albums. Like
Yeah.
I had a few, but it became a transition point. I did 4 years. So approximately halfway through, I stopped grabbing songs altogether, and I would just grab comedy skits,
Mhm.
classical sounds, and then I'd have like the wolves and the drumming in the background, and it'd be like
Beautiful.
20-minute long,
Yeah.
things. And so that's funny when you said that classical, because I had a whole bunch of symphonies on my, and I used to read, and then I call reading watching the movie. So people will come to my bunk and be like, "Hey man, can you?" And I'm like, "I'm watching the movie." And I'd have this classical music in the background while I'm reading, so it was like the soundtrack to the movie. It was great. Classical music is great. I
Mhm.
believe in it. You go next.
Well, I know it makes you think of the meditation or that we just read earlier too, because like I keep visualizing those hollow bones, right? So if I'm trying to walk around with hollow bones, I'm trying to be a vessel for all of this light, and I want to admit this sort of energy. Wouldn't it be great to maybe filter in some classical music or these native meditations like he was talking about into those hollow bones? And could that perpetuate you in a really cool, strong structure and how you're walking and talking on Earth? I
How
love
all
that.
this stuff is synchronized. When I forgot 2 episodes ago to talk about my tattoo I got that day,
Right.
and we did it on last episode, and now we're talking about music again. And again, I got the 444 in the musical notes.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Just the other day, my wife got a matching one, but she did a little daintier, and her fours are red.
Okay.
So yeah, it's I love this.
Very much.
Yes.
The next card that I have is Better Than Yesterday 122, and it says 5 stars. Write a glowing review of a business you like. A little bit of love can go a long way in helping a business you support.
Yes.
This to me means so much because every time I've struggled, every time I've not really felt that great, I try to perpetuate somebody else. I try to help another person. And I have done this. I have given that 5-star review to the people that I want to feel good because maybe they are a little down and out. But truly, not only does it benefit them, but it benefits you. It perpetuates something in your spirit that it's the 5-star review we all deserve.
All right, I'm gonna just go with the top one.
Love that.
Better Than Yesterday. Up to date. 117. Spend at least 15 minutes catching up on world news today. Widen your perspective on what's going on in the world. It'll make you grateful for everything you have in life. Again, we always say gratitude is a superpower. And going back to prison, I've been out a year. I have not watched a single episode of the news when in prison I watch the news every single morning. So thank you for that reminder. I will be catching up on some news some point before next episode.
Absolutely.
Let you know what I find out.
I also think it gives great perspective. So I've been kind of a little bit humdrum about a few little issues in my life. And even though this beautiful person right here isn't CNN, she still has a lot of news to share about our community and what's going on. And when I just within the last hour or so started to reframe my perspective, I thought about the things that she's bringing to the table, the acknowledgement of like sex trafficking and how this is very real. This isn't like some made up thing that they put shows on TV about. Okay, this is an actual real thing that occurs, unfortunately, too often in our world. And man, did that just humble me out in some of my woes, you know, because mine are pretty baby pants in comparison to a lot of people out there that are really living a life that I can't even imagine or fathom.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm like, next up, do you want to hit some cards or you guys want to public share? Where are we at?
I want Jeri to talk about some of her navigation skills and in the role that you currently are in now. We know what you've been through.
Yeah.
And we don't ever want to dwell on that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the now, the mission, and what you
with
do
it?
personally to get through your day-to-day life, like being at the top of a nonprofit. We talked about it before we started shooting, like just navigating that and how negative it can be, but how you're able to bob and weave and stay in your truth.
You know, and I think one of the biggest things is forgiving yourself. And we're talking about, you know, hollow bones, and it says right in there that we cannot, you know, really progress if we're holding on to like these anger and resentments and blames, and I think that also goes into like that negative self-talk, like, you know, I'm not worthy, and all of those things. And so really my journey is, you know, I had enough. I knew that the Creator called me to something greater, and I've worked really, really hard on personal healing for, still to this day. I mean, it's been it's always, you're always evolving, and situations will come along that will test like your for agreement values and so forth. But honestly, healing is not linear. And I looked around, and still nobody in the Olympia area was doing anything about trafficking. I was coordinating with partners on a national level, going out, and that's a whole nother episode. The creator opened doors for me as a public speaker, and was able to really build up within the federal government and work with tribes across the nation as a Department of Justice OVC, Office of Victims of Crime, training and technical assistance, subject matter expert, or whatever you want to call. And that door shouldn't even have been open. I'm just as impacted, and being able to go out and really educate. And then I was driving around Olympia and looking and going, what the heck am I doing? I'm educating and doing things across the country, but I ain't doing crap in my own backyard,
Yeah.
And the reality of it is we have an issue, and we have a problem right here.
Big one.
And in 2016, I got my nonprofit status. I started out of the trunk of my car, just giving stuff away, talking to people, and have grown from there into we have 14 staff, and
wow.
we're continuing to grow. We do direct client services. We unfortunately are very busy. When we're talking about sex trafficking, and I am indigenous, and there's like a link with murdered and missing also. We do a lot of, one of our programs is an indigenous wraparound program, and work with the tribes, get them educated, referrals. And a lot of people don't even really understand exactly what sex trafficking is. And really, you need to be low barrier when you think about it. People think about like the sensationalized, movies like Taken, or the I can't remember the recent one that
I know what I know.
out.
Yeah, we just watched it.
Yeah,
with the officer that went and hunted down the sibling and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of the name. You guys probably know what we're talking about, but yeah.
Oh, or we'll think of it in a minute. That does happen. Like an abduction. But usually, what it is either somebody is forced into a situation where they have no options, and they are trading sex for anything of value, which could be safety, a place to stay, drugs, money, rent, could be absolutely anything. And with the way that the economy is and the housing prices, I mean, we are seeing such an increase in people that are needing services. And about 20% of our clients are males.
Wow.
And we also work with labor trafficking victims. And I'm just blessed to be able to go in, a 7-year period from the trunk of my car to a hub office that we have and have 14 staff. I mean, that's nothing short of a miracle. And the journey in between there and to get here has included a lot of time healing and going through issues and problems and barriers and really gaining those knowledge and tools that nobody was there to teach me.
And it really resonates with, word selection, being impeccable with our words, that has power.
Mm-hmm.
So even the nonprofit that I started, that Jeri helped me start, as a matter of fact, pursue it if you want it. And the slogan is, reach for your dreams.
Mm-hmm.
This is the epitome of pursuing something with a resiliency and an energy and a currency that has far more value than the USD. We keep talking about our real valuable currency is our energy, our resiliency, what we invest ourselves into. And when that investment comes back, that's success.
Absolutely. I always say that the eyes are blind if the mind can't see. And in our last episode, we talked about being a witness. And I think sometimes, given your circumstances, or all of us, we have our own experience, but if we sit and we witness somebody in their experience, sometimes that could be the key that frees them. So there's a lot of people locally, I know this to be true. Like I met a young lady, a beautiful woman, and she was sexually assaulted by her sibling. And because they lived a fancy life and they had money and all those things, when she came forward, she was denied that truth. No one would witness her and her experience. And then she ended up on the streets of Olympia, and she was having sex for survival. She even said that the person that she was sleeping with protected her, so it wasn't that bad. It's not that big of a deal to her in her world. And I sat with her for a little bit of time, and I just witnessed what she was experiencing. And I told her, I believe you're truly being taken advantage of. And I'm sorry that nobody acknowledged you in your experience. And so I believe that's kind of what Jeri is doing now.
Yeah.
She has taken her own personal experience. And now when she sees others probably in these positions, she has an opportunity to sit with them and say, I see you, I'm witnessing what you're going through. I think then that maybe gives you a chance to offer some tools.
Yeah. And, the thing about it is, not only, like for myself to be able to sit with them, but to bring other justice impacted individuals or survivors themselves on as staff that aren't trained, that maybe don't have those skills, and to be able to train them up to be able to be that army of warriors and become advocates. I mean, we have a program called the Mariposa Project, which is a survivor leadership program. And, honestly, our goal is to be completely survivor staffed, and, believing in people and giving them that opportunity to not only get their foot in the door, but to level up.
Yeah.
And so I've been able to build an army where I'm not the only one that can sit with them, and I'm able to empower others while they're out empowering others, and so on and so on.
And it boils down to, like, my other mentor, as some of you know, I'm a CPC trainer and training. And so Joshua Smith loves to say, he really believes in our community, especially the BIPOC community, is information dissemination. Get the information to the people in an innovative way that, and one example he used, it's always stuck with me, and I'm going to share it with you now. When Nipsey died, the whole world knew. But when a legislation passes that affects underprivileged communities in a positive manner,
It's right out
the whole world doesn't know.
there. No.
People don't know about the things that are there for them unless they really get, an advocate. And, then there's that other piece to it that Jeri's really a strong advocate for is when I was coming into trying to start a nonprofit and put together a board and all that. Jeri's like, nope, look, this is how you do it. I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to show you how to do it, physically show you how to do it so that you don't put yourself in any type of way that would be negativity to allow me to fail. So she really opened the door and held me up in a way that our organization can continue to grow and do the good work because it's really about information dissemination, getting people the knowledge that there are resources, there are advocates, there are people out there that if you stand up for yourself, they'll stand with you.
Absolutely. Yes. Something that really is hitting my heart right now is peer advocacy. And if you look at Jeri and you look at me and you look at B, we're all very different people and we all have very different stories. But the mentorship that Jeri offered B then hit me. And then right now I get to go to the table and I get to help other people too. So it's not even about like sitting on top of a mountain of accreditation. Like you are valid, you are a leader in your community if you just stand up, stand strong. And in a way, go back to being those hollow bones, man. Be a vessel for the information and then gift that information freely. Don't look at people with harsh judgment. Look at people with open, loving eyes and be ready to be of service. I think that it's a gift.
Because honestly, you can have all the knowledge within your head, and then you could be selfish and worry about competition or this or that, and not want to share that knowledge. But knowledge that you keep inside of you is knowledge that dies.
That's wasted currency.
It's wasted currency. And so, nobody can do what you do the way that you do it. So when you are like, I used to be like, I'm not sharing my slides with nobody, my presentations. And, now I do train the trainers because that scarcity mentality, really hindered me in the beginning. And another thing that I really think that should be added to the list in the bones here is that imposter syndrome.
Oh yeah.
Definitely.
But before I forget this stuff, when you said trainer for trainers, I actually got accepted into positive Indian parenting training for trainers at the end of the month on January 23rd, which is National Pie Day.
National Pie. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm excited. I should be signed off pretty soon to be an official CPC trainer in the state of Washington. Really excited about it. I really love what I do. I wouldn't want to be doing anything else. I do have a second job, but that's just to help with the bills. The USD that has to be handed off to somebody because I don't get to keep it. My currency is abundant and I get to do what I want with it and I get to grow it exponentially. Right now it's growing. Literally right now.
That's a beautiful gift. Did you want to expand on imposter syndrome at all, or how do you feel about that topic?
My gosh, I think we could do a whole session on that. Imposter syndrome is, when as somebody with lived experience and being blessed with not only starting the nonprofit, but seeing it flourish and the creator just bless it. Because, honestly, I believe because my heart is pure and I have absolutely no ulterior motives except for I want to help people that deserve to be helped. And that's beyond going out and like giving a meal or whatever that is. It needs to be true deep help, and we can't do that alone. That's why partnerships are so important. And it's feeling as you rise that you shouldn't be there. You shouldn't be at that table because I'm not, I don't have PhDs like these other people. And one of the things that we do within innovations is we have a policy. We work a lot with the state legislators. And when we first started WAYS, which is Washington Against Sexual Exploitation, and I felt like I had imposter syndrome, like I shouldn't be there, like getting put on committees or so forth. But that's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah.
That is BS, because you know what? I not only deserve to be at the table, you deserve to be at the table. You deserve to be at the table.
Yeah.
We need to take over the table, because the folks that have been at that table have not been doing a good job, or we wouldn't be where we are as the county.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got a lot of issues.
Yeah, recently I was kind of in the thick of it in my own experience, some hardships.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to evaluate the situation. Like, why are the people who are above me, why are the people who are advocating for me not doing their job? And then
Right.
I was sitting at, I like what you're saying, sitting at this table. Louise Hay, she talked about how we're at the universe table, okay? And everybody gets a seat at that. There's nobody that doesn't belong at the universe table. We're all here together, okay? Yeah. And we all have been built in divinity and in a divine creation. And because of that, you're on purpose, you have value, and you hold currency that is ready to gift anywhere. It doesn't matter if you're a lawyer. It doesn't matter if you are a legislator, okay? You have a powerful voice, and it is needed, because clearly the solutions are not available. That's why we're looking to make more solutions. And what I realized is that when I am sitting at that table and I'm simmering myself down and I'm not being of full value, full service, those hollow bones, I'm not only doing myself a disservice, but I'm doing everybody around me that I could be affecting in a positive manner a disservice as well. So when I came to that table for myself, I started to feel like I was high up. Like I was starting to be on the level of those other people that have their certificates and their backing. Yeah. But what I realized is that when I was there, I could not enjoy it fully. I could not enjoy my success fully without recognizing all the other people that I wanted up at that table with me. I don't want quiet voices. I don't want people to not believe that they're worth it. I want everybody to hold the same value in their integrity and their moral standards that I've had the capacity to do for myself. And I believe that that's what you're doing. You're inviting people to that table. You're giving them that worth and that power. And then the trickle effect from that is just exponential. It's like the good old infinity, the good old 8. Yeah. It's just going to keep going.
I feel like if we all sat together, we could create the Avengers of the nonprofit world.
Right?
Because there's so much bureaucracy around, like you said. People believe in the nonprofit space there's a concept of competition. How? Why? It doesn't make any sense.
Partnership.
100%. It should only be partnerships. You don't even own a nonprofit. The community does. Right. It's all about partnerships and empowerment. It's all about pursuing internal evolution and sharing it with the next person. Sharing your experience. Holding hope up. Holding other people up. That's why we came with this concept of PI, to combat the T, because the T is about putting other people down. It's about withholding information and competition, and I'm better than, I should have, he or she shouldn't have, they shouldn't have. Everybody is born with the divine right to a quality of life that is safe, that is not harmful. You have a divine birthright to not be treated poorly by a narcissist. Like, let's really think about the best way to cure the things that are ailing our community is to first cure ourselves. Look inwards to heal outwards.
Life is a divine birthright, and it's something that for some reason we got confused. No one's sending me a message that's saying, take a breath in, take a breath out. Nobody's telling my heart to go boom, 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 boom. Like, these things are just happening. And I think that sometimes we get clouded by societal judgment and all of these parameters of expectation of what we deserve and what we do not deserve. And it's not the truth. You deserve life. You deserve freedom, success, and happiness like breath. It should just come in and out of you with ease.
You know, and I can tell you that imposter syndrome, the more that you believe in yourself and you surround yourself with positive people, that imposter syndrome comes up less and less and less. And, you know, honestly, I can own it. I deserve where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm a powerful, wonderful, giving individual that, you know, has been blessed with great staff in a nonprofit to be able to help people get out of really bad situations. And it's not isolated. And to be able to not only do that, but raise people up, help them get their nonprofit status, you know, mentor them, get that whiteboard out and, you know, share that knowledge, you know, because holding all that in that's selfishness. And
it's tea.
It's tea. And your bones won't be hollow. And at the end of the day, it's all about paying it forward. It really is. Yeah. And I'm blessed. I'm so blessed.
100%. I also love what you said. Like, you deserve this. You really do. You earned it.
Yeah.
What do we say at the end of our agreements?
Right.
We are what we agree to.
We are. And you know, it's hard work.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's going to be haters and people that are going to try to do lateral oppression. All of that, you know, and I pray for them, and, you know, like a duck, try to just that water. Yeah.
Another thing.
And stand on the work, keep doing the work, because what it does is it takes you away from the mission.
Absolutely.
And when you're doing good work, you know, the enemy in the world
tries to come in. You know, when darkness hits your table or comes at you, something that you can do, an affirmation that you can just easily switch it over. It's super simple. I say, I bless you with prosperity, love, kindness, and peace. And you can do that to any dark entity out there. And even like your competition doesn't have to be your competition if you're blessing them with prosperity and growth. You want everybody to succeed. And if it's the I and you and the you and I, and if we're all one in this universe, I want everybody to succeed, because that means I get to too.
Right?
Exactly. So we're going to wrap it up. This has been, oh my goodness. I mean, we could probably podcast for 2 or 3 hours.
For sure.
Especially with Jeri here.
I love you.
But,
thank you so much.
We like to end our episodes with our 4 agreement cards. Apparently you've got 2, Jeri. So
Jeri, grab
Priscilla and I will do ours. You can do one.
Pick whatever you want.
We'll do ours, and then you'll finish off.
All right. That sounds good to me.
So one of yours first.
Oh, one of mine first.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. This is funny because I have a little notebook with me today, and it says, be impeccable with your word. And the first thing that I wrote in my notebook was my word and my ethics. And that's how you succeed. You keep your word, and you never make promises that you can't keep, especially if you're working with, like you say, somebody, you can get them shelter, and you do not say that until you know you can.
Yeah.
And so being impeccable with your word really somebody's life can hang in that balance. So create a beautiful dream. Your words can create the most beautiful dream, or your words can destroy everything around you. Impeccably of the word only creates beauty, love, and heaven on earth.
I love that.
Wow. So mine is don't make assumptions. Learn to ask questions. With, as always, I say, curiosity fosters connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is always better to ask questions than to make assumptions. Have the courage to ask questions until you are as clear as you can be. Once you hear the answer to a question, you won't have to make assumptions because you will know the truth.
Mm.
I'm like, I think my card flies off of yours and being accountable with your word, you know?
Yeah.
And it says, always do your best, but don't overdo.
Mm.
Always do your best, but don't overdo. When you overdo, you deplete your body and you go against yourself. And it will take you longer to accomplish your goals.
Boy, ain't that the truth.
Mm.
You
And
know.
last but definitely not least,
This is perfect too. All right. Don't take anything personally. Your truth is personal to you. You got to grow a hard shell to do this work. Your own options and point of view reflect your own agreements and are personal to you. It is no one's truth but yours.
Owning your own truth, again, empowers you to grow and to glow. So
I love that.
Yeah.
accountability
Grow
is everything.
to glow and to grow and to glow.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So tell them where to find your organization real quick before we
Please.
sign out.
Yes, my organization is Innovations Human Trafficking Collaborative, but we go by Innovations HTC. You can find us on the web. It would be Innovations with an S and then HTC.org. And honestly, a call to action. It is policy session right now. And if you want to take a look at our Ways Forward website, you can get updates on policy. It is Ways, WASE, and then the word forward, FORWARD.org. And yeah. If there's anybody out there that needs support and services, all of our phone numbers are on there, and there are options. And so thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah,
You're very welcome. Thanks for being here. And I want to reiterate what she just said. She pulled a call to action. All right. And all of you guys belong at the table with us, every last one of you. So if something hit you today or hits you in a way that you know somebody that's been hit by it, come forward. Let's all get together. Let's find more resources and let's make the change in our community that we all deserve.
Yes. Please continue with your comments. Continue sharing the love. Yes. It is free to share a link to the people in your phone list or your Facebook Messenger or your IG list. Share this love. Share this experience with other people. This is a proud partner of mine. PursueItIfYouWantIt.org is where you can find the justice impacted for individuals experiencing reentry and their families. That is what we're about with the PursueItIfYouWantIt.org. Man, it's been an honor. It's been a blessing. I got some medicine.
Yeah.
We got some really good pie out today.
Yeah.